welcome to this week's Kids Church. We are in a new location this week because as I get ready for camp, I'm filming from the church this week. And I did bring our candle, so it is right here tucked away in with all of our toys and stuff as we get ready to welcome campers to our camp program starting next week. But we still have some fun to have together through these videos, and I'm so glad that you are here with me. Our shout out this week goes to Abigail and to Spencer. And our theme this week is about shaking the sand off of our sandals and just getting on with it. So let's listen to a story about Jesus sharing that lesson with some of his followers. Now this story is written in the book of Mark, which is in the New Testament in the Bible. And it is a story about Jesus and his followers. And the story goes like this. One day, Jesus called all his friends together. "There's so much work to do," said Jesus. "I need your help. I want you to travel to the villages and tell the people about God's love." Jesus' friends looked surprised. "What is Jesus asking us to do?" they asked. "What villages will we go to, and what will we say? What if people don't listen to us?" Jesus' friends had so many questions. Jesus smiled. "Don't worry. I will help you choose the words to say." One of Jesus' friends brought out his backpack. "Okay," he said, "I'm ready. I've got everything I need." Jesus laughed. "Actually," he said, "you won't need to take anything. You won't need any extra clothes. You won't need to take a snack. You won't even need to take any money. All I want you to take is a walking stick, the clothes you are wearing, and the sandals on your feet." Jesus' friends stood up. They were ready to do as Jesus asked. "Wait," Jesus said, "I have one more thing to say. When you travel to the towns and villages, I think you should go 2 by 2. When you arrive in a village, stay in the homes of people who welcome you. Eat with those who invite you for dinner. Talk with those who will listen. If you are in a town where people don't want to listen or welcome you, then shake the dirt off your sandals and keep moving on." So that is what Jesus' friends did. They traveled from town to town, village to village. Each person traveled with a friend, and all they took with them were their walking sticks, the clothes they were wearing, and the sandals on their feet. And they told everyone who would listen about God's wonderful love. Well, that was a big ask of Jesus, wasn't it? To send his friends off to go and share the message that he had been sharing. I imagine his friends might have been feeling a little nervous about traveling on their own after having been following him for so long. I like what Jesus says. He says, if they're not going to listen and they're not welcoming, just shake the dirt off your sandals and move on. Have you ever been in a situation where things just aren't going the way you expected? Maybe the person you wanted to play with just isn't connecting with you the way you wanted that day. Maybe you tried something and it just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel like something you're enjoying. Have you ever had to just shake the dirt off your sandals and keep moving on? That's a hard thing sometimes to figure out. When is it time to persevere and try our hardest? And when is it time to say, right now, this isn't the thing for me. I'm going to move on to something else. I guess it never tells us in the story whether the followers go back to some of those places where they had to shake the dirt off their sandals. Sometimes something doesn't connect with us just because of the time and the space that we're in that moment. And maybe we have to just let go of it for that moment. But that doesn't mean that we can't come back to it another time. I guess the hard work is listening and figuring out, maybe with God, maybe with the grown-ups around us, maybe with our own heart, and figuring out when is it time to persevere and try again, And when is it time to shake the dirt off our sandals and try something else for that moment? So for our activity today, I really like the image of shaking the dirt off of our sandals. So I thought maybe we could play with some sand art today. Now, if you had the chance to drop by the church and pick up our supply kit, then you would have gotten some sand. This is very fine sand. And you might also be able to find some sand in the backyard or at a beach. But if you can't find sand for this activity, I've seen people use salt. So you can use salt to do exactly the same activity as what we're going to do. And we're going to create art with sand. So along with our sand, we will also need some food coloring. And liquid food coloring is your best type of food coloring. I know at home when I do baking, I have a gel type of food coloring. But for this activity, you want something that's a little bit more liquidy than that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just get some food coloring, some sand or some salt, and let's get into creating some fun sand art together. So to start our activity, what we want to do is create different colors of sand. I have divided my sand already into 4 different containers, and 3 of them I've already changed colors. So I have a green sand, I have a bluey indigo sand, I have kind of a purpley red sand, and I'm going to do this one now. So I'm just going to take my food coloring and I'm going to squeeze a bunch of drops of the food coloring into my container. Now this food coloring was almost finished already, so I'm emptying it out. And that should hopefully be enough. And now I'm going to take my spoon and stir it around. Now, if you are using salt, your colors might be a little bit more predictable. Part of the fun I've been finding is that I don't know what color my sand is going to turn into when I add a food coloring into it. So this was a red food coloring and it's turned into an orange color. This one here was a yellow and it turned into a green. This one was also a red, but it seems to have been a different red, so it's more of a purpley red. And then this one has some blue and some red, and it gave me this really dark indigo. So that'll be part of the mystery, is what color will your sand turn into? It will depend on the color of your sand and how your food coloring reacts with it. Well, that is all the supplies that we need to make our sand art. Now I'm going to bring over a white plate. And using my spoon, I can start to put different colors of sand on my plate. And I can start to make different shapes with my sand. And maybe I can use my finger to shape it into something. I wonder what I could do with this. Let's just see if we just start adding colors, what might be created from our sand art today. Well, here is my first creation. As I started working on it, I saw a butterfly coming out of the pattern, so I've created a butterfly. What's really neat about working with sand is that it's still movable, so I could change the shape of its antenna, maybe make them curled. There we go. Or if I don't like it, I can toss it aside and I can start all over again. Do you know that there are some cultures where creating art and patterns with sand is a form of prayer? I wonder, as you are working with the sand, if you can feel that sense of being still or concentration that might come from creating this work with the sand. I find that as it's here, I just want to keep putting my fingers in it and keep moving it around and seeing what else might come. There's something beautiful about creating a piece of art that's temporary. So it's only going to be here for a short time, and then it'll be gone, and there'll be space for a new piece of art. Now, if you're uncomfortable with temporary art, you could also do something a little bit more permanent. You could grab a piece of paper and some glue, and then you can draw a pattern on your piece of paper with the glue. And then we can take a spoonful of our sand and just sprinkle it over the wet glue. Make sure we cover all of the glue. And then we're going to just shake it around a little bit and pour that back where it came from, all the extra glue. And then, just like glitter, we've got our colored sand sticking to the glue. So it's kind of like glitter, only it's better for the environment because it's just sand. Well, my friends, this playing with sand has me not only thinking about the story of Jesus and his followers, it has me thinking about the beach and how much I look forward to maybe getting out to a beach somewhere in the coming weeks for summer. I wonder how you got on with your creation. I know I'm going to keep my sand around for any time when I'm just feeling like I need to be creative, but I don't want to create a piece of art that needs to hang somewhere. I just want to have some quiet time to create. And then maybe I can get my colored sand out and I can create something with it. Just using my fingers or a spoon, moving it around. Hey, I wonder what it would look like if I blew on it. What might we create then? Let's have a look. Whoa, that looks kind of neat as it spreads away. Maybe this is something you should do outside. Well, that has changed the pattern, and it makes me think maybe I could create something new out of this. I'm going to keep playing with my sand. I hope that you have some fun with your colored sand or salt, however you created your colors this week. And with that, we are heading off to the summer weeks. So may you go into summer with love in your heart to give, with joy in your heart to share, and with strength in your heart to lift others up. See you, my friends.